Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Handle with Care, Cancer and Beyond is a podcast that gives everyone and anyone a place to come and keep it real about their cancer experience. Welcome to Handle with Care, Cancer and Beyond.
Hey everyone, welcome back. We're here with another episode of Handle with Care, Cancer and Beyond. My name is Chris Donovan, the co-host and producer, and on the show today, we sit down with Lesley Nygaard. Now, Lesley's a naturopathic nutritionist, an essential oils coach, and a stage 3 breast cancer survivor. She partnered with oncology nurse Mark Brown to create a line of natural and organic products. Now, this is to help support patients during treatment. It's natural, non-invasive, and very gentle. So check out her website, ultimatevitality.com, and don't forget to go to thecareprojectinc.org to connect with Carrie or have Carrie guest on your show. So enjoy this conversation between myself, Carrie, and Lesley. Okay, we're here with another great episode of Handle with Care, Cancer and Beyond. Hi, Carrie. How are you?
Hey, I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing good. Today we're speaking with Lesley Nygaard. Lesley, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. Thanks for joining the show today.
Thank you for having me.
Now, you started a company with your partner, Mark. How did you meet Mark, and how did this partnership begin?
So actually, Mark and I met when I first relocated from Chicago to Tahoe. And he was working at a cancer center in Tahoe, and my sister's husband had cancer, and I met him at the cancer center. We did subsequently start dating prior to my diagnosis, and we were dating when I was diagnosed in March of 2009.
Wow. Tell us a little bit about your diagnosis and how you came to find out. Was it on annual exam, or did you find your own lumps? What's the deal?
So it's a great story because I had just turned 41 and I knew that I needed to get my first mammogram, and there was no reason for me to have one before 40 because that was the standard of care at that time. And I have no family history of breast cancer. I had gotten breast implants when I was 30 for aesthetic reasons. And so one day, right at the edge of my nipple, I felt a little something, but I really did think it was just scar tissue because that's where my incision was for my breast augmentation. And then I noticed that it was getting a little bigger. So it was like not possible to ignore it anymore. So I called my doctor, and I said, I think I feel something, like, can you schedule me? And she's like, oh, I see your annual pelvic exam is overdue too. And I'm like, can we just go straight to the mammogram?
Yeah.
And she said, no. You need to come in and get everything looked at. So that's what happened. And I think pretty much as soon as she felt it, she was very concerned. And so she set me up to have the diagnostic mammogram and ultrasound if required. So that's what happened. And they scheduled me right away. And I kind of knew when they scheduled me quick that they were pretty concerned too.
Yeah. So what was your official diagnosis?
So it was, I had stage 3 invasive ductal carcinoma. My tumor was pretty large. I had positive lymph nodes. That's why it was stage 3. And I didn't see it coming. I mean, I just didn't think that was even remotely a possibility. So I had driven myself there, and then they said, we're going to do a biopsy. So I called Mark right away because he worked for an oncologist, and the oncologist said, you can let them biopsy where they think there's a tumor, but don't let them touch your lymph nodes at all. And so that's kind of what happened. It started to move really fast after that. Once that happened, it was just.
That's how it happens. Yeah.
Do you blame your implants for this at all?
No. And I'll tell you why. So one of the things that was great about getting treated at a hospital in Tahoe. So I was treated at it was then called the Tahoe Forest Cancer Center. It's now called the Gene Upshaw Tahoe Forest Cancer Center. Not only do you have a very beautiful things to look at while you're going through a miserable experience, because it is situated really nice. The doctor who built the center there had originally worked at Cedars-Sinai, and he retired up in the mountains and then couldn't stay retired and said, I want to find a way to have people in rural communities have access to world-class healthcare. So they are actually affiliated with UC Davis.
Oh, wow.
And they are an NCI designated cancer center. So he presented my case to the tumor board. And I always tell everybody, if people read articles and things like that I've been in, that I consider Dr. Chu my hero, because she said, it's really strange that she's so young and her cancer's so advanced. We should run the BRCA test. And in 2009, the BRCA test was a little controversial. It usually wasn't covered by insurance. It was very expensive. I think it was over $3,000 in 2009 compared to what it is now, right? And so they ran the test and I was positive. So, and I happen to have 3 sisters. So this was critical, because having that information and then having my sisters have the opportunity to be tested and find out that they were positive before they actually had a cancer diagnosis was like, it changed the course of my treatment. And then it also empowered my sisters to be able to make the choices they needed to make. So,
right.
How many sisters? And I'm guessing you're the oldest?
I'm the oldest.
How many sisters?
I have 3 sisters, and 2 of them are also BRCA positive.
Wow. And then you also said your sister's husband had cancer too.
Yes.
What type of cancer did he have?
He had malignant fibrous histiocytoma, which is a soft tissue sarcoma. And he was diagnosed about a year before me. And I'm happy to report that I just had my 12-year cancerversary, August 20th. Right. And he just had his 13th. And the statistics for his type of cancer, the fact that he's made it past 10 years is amazing. And my number wasn't that good either, the long-term survivability number, but I'm still here.
Yeah. So it's really interesting. We chatted a little bit offline yesterday, and we were both diagnosed right after turning 41, both stage 3. And we talked a little bit about how when we share our stories, that's important for us to say it was stage 3. And the reason being for me is representation matters, right? And so when you're first diagnosed and people start sharing books with you and stories of other people, when you hear stage 3, okay, this is not hasn't been detected early. And how many people survive stage 3, right? Because if you've never been exposed to breast cancer or had someone close to you so that you're really educated in it, you don't realize, all you think is, oh my God, there's only 4 stages, right? So it matters when you see somebody else who's out there long-term, like when we started talking and I was like, oh my gosh, you're out this far, stage 3. Awesome. Cause I'm approaching 10 years. Right. Mm-hmm. And what do I say, Chris, when I get a headache? I'm like, oh, is it in my brain?
I'm dying.
Yeah.
My toenail
I had the COVID vaccine, and then my lymph nodes went huge. And then I had, MRIs and I'm like, oh my God, is it in my lymph nodes? And so it's important that I think that we share that you were stage 3, and thank God that you're still here. Yeah. So let's fast forward to your company. Tell us all about it and what you do and why.
I've always been a big fan of Good Morning America, and I watched Robin Roberts go through her breast cancer journey and her subsequent recurrence. Well, it wasn't technically a recurrence, but collateral damage of her treatments. She ended up with a form of leukemia, but in any case, or a blood cancer. But anyway, I thought she handled it with such class and dignity that I knew when I was diagnosed, I wanted to channel my inner Robin Roberts. Plus, I love when she would get on TV, and not just as it related to cancer, but other things, she would always say, make your mess your message.
Yeah.
And so through all my different support groups and everything, I had always had an interest in functional and integrative medicine. So I was trying to figure out, what can people do that's natural to get back? You fight to save your life by taking chemotherapy, which is poison and practically kills you. And there is collateral damage to you as a result of those treatments that save your life. And so then afterwards, you ring your bell on your last chemo, you finish radiation, and then it's kind of like, now what? What is anybody doing to make sure this doesn't come back? You don't feel like you're actively doing anything. And I didn't. And I found a lot of people felt really lost about what to do moving forward, how to regain their energy, their mental focus from chemo brain. And so I just started doing a lot of research. And initially it was just getting things and like telling my friends who were finished with treatment, this is what I'm doing, and this worked and this didn't work. And I call myself the human guinea pig because I'll try just about anything somebody sends me to see if it works. Because I think as long as it's fairly organic, natural, and doesn't have, a laundry list of things I won't put on my body or in my body. And so it started out with supplements and really working on boosting your immune system. I'm a huge fan of monitoring vitamin D levels, which is traditionally low in people with all forms of cancer and also COVID. So it was timely to mention people should really monitor their vitamin D level. It's super important.
And it makes you feel, wow, I was severely deficient at one point. And I really thought this is kind of a side note, but I really thought that my cancer was back. I looked in the mirror one day and I was like this gray color, and I was totally lethargic. No matter what I did, no matter how much sleep I got, no matter how clean I ate, I felt exhausted. And my doctor ran a panel and I was severely deficient. So much so that I had to take like a crazy mega dose for like 9 or 12 weeks. And now I still take 2,000 milligrams a day, because you don't realize how much vitamin D helps you in so many ways. And it's good for breast health, right?
Totally. And same thing. When they first checked mine, it was ridiculously low, which was horrifying to me since I own a supplement company. I was like, oh no, this can't be happening. And so
not a good look, Lesley.
So they had to put me on the mega dose, just like you. And I too take about 2,000 IU now every day. And the last time I just had my blood work done in April, I was like smack dab in the middle of where you're supposed to be. So, and I think people, I live in Florida now, and I think sometimes people think if you live in a sunny climate, you're going to get enough of it from the sun, but we wear so much sunblock, and you just don't uptake the amount you think you're uptaking. And right. So I think it's important to monitor that, but yeah.
So you got involved with a lot of supplements, and a specific company or a distributor, or how did that come about?
No, we private label our own okay. stuff. I went back to school about 6 or 7 years ago to get a master's in naturopathic nutrition.
Okay.
And so I would look at the supplements that were out there and think, what could we tweak better? Who out there makes something like this? Can we label it? And a lot of it came down to absorption and bioavailability for me. There's lots of supplements that are more bioavailable than others. For example, with vitamin D, a lot of people don't realize that it is a fat soluble vitamin. And so if people take a fat soluble vitamin on an empty stomach, or they're doing a low fat diet, even though they're swallowing these pills, it's probably not bioavailable. You're not actually absorbing it. So I'm a big fan of micellized D, because by making the molecule of D smaller, it becomes water soluble and you absorb more of it. And then the other supplements we have for inflammation, which is to me very important for your immune health, is to keep your level of inflammation low. I like liposomal technology. Again, it makes it more bioavailable. It kind of encapsulates the molecule so that it doesn't get broken down in your stomach. So we had some really good luck with all of those items, and they were targeted specifically. We do resell some other people's who we think have really good products that isn't something we'd want to make. And about 2 years ago, we decided to try to start making our own radiation relief cream, because we had a lot of people suffering with that. And that's turned out to be our MVP. At this point, I think we've sold over 10,000 tubes. We have over 600 reviews on Amazon. 98% of which are 5-star reviews.
I just got my samples that you guys sent me. So thank you for that. I have them here in the Care Project now. So I will be handing out samples.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic idea for a product. Such a necessary. I mean, this isn't just comfort care. This is like healing care, right?
And the part that's amazing to me is every time I get a message from somebody about how this helped them and nothing else that had been recommended to them was helping them, I definitely feel I'm in that make your mess your message moment, because
absolutely,
we formulated this. It's been amazing. We just went to our first trade show where we had our own booth a couple of weeks ago to the ASTRO convention, which is the American Society of Radiation Oncologists. And the response was amazing from them. And we have some people that want to do a case study using it. Good. And we're in the process now of launching about 10 new products, all in the oncology skincare line. And I always say to people, your skin is your largest organ.
Absolutely.
And so everything you put on your skin impacts your health. And,
right.
And we allow a lot of stuff that we shouldn't allow in ingredients lists that are known carcinogens. So
right. Now, are you selling are you having the products in oncology offices and treatment centers, or is it just available online? And what is your website? Let's put that out there before I forget.
Sure. The website is www.ultimatevitality.com or www.dermavitality.com.
Okay.
So the Derma Vitality, the oncology skincare line, is underneath Ultimate Vitality. Ultimate Vitality is the parent company, but this oncology skincare line is really taken off. But we also do make a lotion for hand and foot syndrome. Some chemotherapeutic drugs cause people's hands and feet to crack, and that is having amazing results. So, and then we're launching a spray, which I think is amazing for the people who are, so technically a radiation burn is not a burn, it's a form of dermatitis. And so in some cases, the tissue breaks down so much that somebody could not even rub a lotion or a cream into it. Mm-hmm. A lot of people ask about sprays with lidocaine, and I know there's some out there. My position as a natural healthcare practitioner is lidocaine is drying. And so if you've already got an issue, even though it's going to provide you some immediate temporary anesthetic relief, if it's actually going to cause the tissue to break down even more, then that's what I call borrowing from Peter to pay Paul. And it's just not a trade-off I wanted to make.
Yeah,
so,
no, I think that's fantastic. And that's really well said. Radiation burns are no joke.
Yeah. And I'm not comparing this to radiation burns at all, but I grew up with eczema my whole life. And I've been having to treat that on my skin. Do you have any products that treat other types of skin issues?
We do, Chris. Believe it or not, people have used the radiation relief cream on poison ivy, eczema, and psoriasis. So we'll make sure you get some. And I think what the ultimate goal of the company is to focus right now on the line of oncology products, but maybe do a couple tweaks on the formulation, because there's a few things I think would be beneficial for eczema or psoriasis, and have a cream that's the same fundamental foundation, but a few things that are botanical that might provide some additional support to some other conditions. So it's always fun for me when someone calls and says, hey, I have some weird skin rash. Should I try it on that? And I say, do it. Yeah. I mean, what's the worst can happen? You're already not feeling well, and It's all natural and organic and vegan. So
because it's all natural, organic, and vegan, could I have two granddaughters, they're both 3 right now. One's about to be 4. The one that's about to be 4 has eczema, not horrifically, but it's there. And so we've got to be very, very careful, and they're being raised vegan. Is this something that you think a toddler could use?
Probably. I mean, one of the things that has been some of the feedback, if people go look, the original radiation formulation included lavender in it. Mm-hmm. The lavender was never in there to be a scent. I actually specifically put it in there for the chemical constituents in the lavender plant, which have been used since the 1800s on burns. And so we just launched in the last 2 weeks the unscented version. And so I'm anxious to see if people are going to have, similar results. I don't know right now how much the lavender contributes to how well it performs right now.
Mhm.
So maybe with younger kids, you might want to try something, but the lavender that is in there is 100% therapeutic grade essential oil. It's not, anything with
Yeah,
any
not the
artificial
synthetic
color.
crap. Yeah.
Correct.
Every time I burn myself, I grab my lavender oil.
See,
It works. It
that's
works.
why I wanted it
And
in
then
there.
and then the tequila.
And then the tequila. That's it. Lavender and tequila. Ooh, Chris, that could be a drink.
That's actually a podcast. It should be at least.
Welcome to my world, Lesley.
Lavender and tequila.
Yeah. So
Listen, I love lavender everything.
I do
Lavender
too.
honey ice cream is my favorite.
I've got it diffusing right now with a little splash of peppermint for my allergies.
Nice.
I know I would have never, I've been using essential oils for years, but I would have never put those two together. I would always use like a lavender and frankincense at night to sleep, but the other day I was like, peppermint's a little strong today, but my allergies were kicking. Let me put some lavender in there too. Cause I was like, my shoulders were up here. I was all stressed out. So right now that's my new favorite combo, peppermint and lavender. Weird, right?
Try it. I'll try it.
Whatever works.
And tequila.
UltimateVitality.com. UltimateVitality.com will get you all the information about your company, all the products that you do have available. One thing I asked, I'm not sure if you answered me, is are you making it available in offices like mine, like the Care Project and treatment centers?
So it's been interesting because I do call on a lot of radiation centers and their offices, and generally speaking, they don't want to be a retail establishment.
Okay.
Even if I allowed them to buy it at wholesale so that they could make some additional revenue, when you think of what a cost of a single radiation treatment is, it's just, they're so busy and they're, you take more time to get dressed and undressed than the treatment itself.
Absolutely.
So it's kind of hurting people through the doors. Although I was excited at the show, at the Astro show I just attended, a lot of the young radiation oncologists who are doing fellowships and things like that feel like they get a much worse rap than the medical oncologists who do chemo. And so they're looking for ways to connect with their patients better and have it not feel so disconnected. And that's why they thought if there was something they could recommend, including something that might have an aromatherapy benefit too, it might elevate their status in the patient's eyes and just their overall experience, I guess. So that was really encouraging to hear. So right now it's primarily available online through our website. When we provide samples to different facilities, we give them these individual use sample packs. Most of the time they have a QR code so that the person can go directly to our website and get a 20% discount. The discount doesn't work on Amazon, but some people just love to buy on Amazon and they're Prime and they want it to just show up. So it's available on Amazon. And then we have been doing some work towards getting into big box pharmacies like Walgreens, Rite Aid, and CVS. So, and then smaller local pharmacies. So it seems like that's probably more the consumer product side. We do want it to remain a homeopathic treatment. Mm-hmm. We did talk to someone about a clinical trial. We didn't want to go that route. And it is eligible for FSA and HSA reimbursement.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, I would love to talk with you offline about having some stock here at the Care Project, because we do service so many breast cancer patients in this area and have some connections with other organizations that service different types of cancer patients. And I think it might be something that, we'd love to have it available here to get it into the hands of people that need it. I know I needed something.
That would be terrific. And, one of the things that we do definitely like to get the samples in people's hands. And one of the things that has been interesting is trying to reach a broader audience. And we have a lot of head and neck cancer patients who have pretty intense radiation to that area, which is very sensitive. Some prostate cancer patients, but a lot of times they have seed radiation, which is internal. Mm-hmm. And actually we have a pretty big following with people who have rectal and anal cancer and have to have external beam radiation. So it's those people don't usually want to come forward and give testimonials because I don't think they necessarily want people to know about it, but it's extra special to me when they contact me because I just think, I know what my experience was like, and I can't even imagine if it was in that area of my body, how much worse it would have been.
Yeah. And, I only had 5 weeks of radiation, but I know several people that had up to 7, and I had an open wound in my armpit area where they were targeting my lymph nodes, because I too had lymph node involvement. And my clavicle was just raw. I mean, that's like such a sensitive spot, right? A lot of us don't have any feeling left in the chest wall. So that they look at you and go, "Oh, you should probably see the doctor today." I'm like, "What? Oh, look, it's an open wound." I didn't feel it. But there were other areas that I did feel. So, anything that can provide relief and healing I'm all about it. I can't wait to open a sample over here. Yeah.
Yeah, it's perfect. Thank you. Thank you for doing this. Again, the website is ultimatevitality.com or dermavitality.com. Go there and check it out. And you can contact them. You can reach out. They have request samples on there and wholesale and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, it's a great website. I started looking at it yesterday. And you could read some of Lesley's story on there as well. Keep up the good work.
Thank you. You too. You guys are doing great work, reaching a lot of people. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for joining, Lesley. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks so much for having me.
All right. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Handle with Care, Cancer and Beyond. Please let us know what you think of the show by leaving a rating and review. And don't forget to share it with a friend. For more information or to connect with Carrie, go to thecareprojectinc.org.
Can you have zero interest in something and still really want it? Your wallet would say yes. And with Simply Zero from South Carolina Federal Credit Union, you can transfer credit card balances and get 0% intro APR for 12 months. That's right, no interest all year. So you pay less and keep more. To learn more, visit scfederal.org/simply0. That's scfederal.org/simply0. Variable APR ranges from 11.74% to 17.99% thereafter. Limited time offer restrictions apply.